Okay, I lost the footage. Basically, what's happened so far is I refluxed for 7.5 hours. I filtered out what I had, and then I refluxed it for another, let's say, 50 hours. Okay, maybe even 60, 55. I mean, and then I filtered it again, and I didn't get barely anything. I got like maybe a quarter gram, you know, on the second, on that, you know, for the 55 hours extra that I did, I got a quarter gram, so it was not worth it. Okay, and now we're going to go into the next clip where I'm filtering out. I filtered out everything. You know, it's both from the 7.5 hours and the piddly half gram or quarter gram from the 55 hours after that, combined together, and then that's where the video will start. Alright, so after all that time, I've filtered it out. You can see how much is there. It's a pretty good bit. Then I washed it with I washed it with 500 milliliters of water that you can see right here. Now I put that in the freezer. You can see there's some precip in it. Now this is all water pretty much, so I actually had to do it twice because I did it too long and it froze. Anyways, this stuff has been sitting here forever. I don't even know if it's going to make it through this. This hasn't been washed in like I don't know how long. Oh, looks like I did it again. I let it freeze up. See there? But this is precip down here. I'm gonna have to let it unfreeze. Right. There we go. Just need to take a cap off. There we go. Oh, looks like I let it freeze too much. So I'm just going to let that dry drip. I mean, gravity drip. But I want to show you something else. Now that was the water that I put through to wash this when I got it out. This is the actual, you know, this is the nitric acid stuff and the xylene. You can see there's precip at the bottom. Now this won't freeze because it's acid, you know what I mean? But there's stuff in there. I'm going to filter that next. Since this has got to be melted now a little bit, might not film all this. Let's see if this helps. And you can see it dripping through there. This is going to take a while. But when it's done, I'm going to filter the nitric acid, the actual pot, everything that was in the pot. And then I'll show you what I got. So I filtered what was in the pot. And I filtered the stuff that okay, so there's 2 batches. Remember, I got this stuff out and I washed it with 500 milliliters of water. That 500 milliliters of water and the pot I put into the freezer, and this is what preciped out. Not much, but whatever. Now this is the pot that has the nitric acid and xylene in that. I'm going to add, say, 200 milliliters of water to that, 250 milliliters. And I'll put it back in the freezer and see if that helps more stuff precip out. Okay. because, you know, make it more water and less nitric acid, and should be less soluble. We'll see if it helps or not. If not, whatever. Alright, there's all my product, all of it. I suspended it in 500 milliliters of cold water and put it in the refrigerator for a while. I'm going to filter it. Guess I should have just poured that off into another container. Anyways, well, that's dripping, which is I suspended it in 500 milliliters of cold water for a while. I mean, you could probably just do it for an hour or two. I actually, it's been sitting there probably for a couple weeks because I forgot all about it. You know, I've been doing other stuff. So I'm going to filter this. Then I have some water that I put into the freezer, so it's freezing up right now. It's getting nice and cool. And once it gets down to the, you know, I get all that water, liquid out of there, I still have all this. I'm going to throw it in there and wash it with that cold water. Okay? And then I'll come back and we will make some sodium, because this is toluic acid right here. This is the actual acid. I mean, it's not pure, but it's not a salt or anything. We want to we want to make the salt, sodium toluate, or however you would say it. Just like with benzoic acid, you make sodium benzoate. We're going to do that here with this. And there you go. Finally got the solids in there. I got 500 milliliters of clean water. I put in the same container, try and get some of this stuff out. I'm just going to wash it. There we go. Alright, we're going to let that drain, and I'll be back. Alright, I got 39 grams of sodium hydroxide in there. And I got 250 milliliters of water. You know what happens when you put them together? It heats up. It's exothermic. So hopefully I won't even have to heat it, because this heater doesn't work. It only works as a stir, because I got a stir bar in there. So we're just going to stir that up, hoping that heats up, because I'm going to toss this in. Oh. All the product I had. Just toss it right in there. Basically, I'm going to try and make the salt of that acid, sodium toluate. It's not letting my stir bar work. I'm just going to stir that up, I guess, by hand here until I get my stir bar to work. And hopefully it'll dissolve. Once it does, I'll be back. Alright, I added, right after I went off camera, I added 200 milliliters of really hot water. Because this doesn't work, this heater. It just stirs. So I heated it up on the stove and poured it in here to get it hot. It's been stirring maybe 15 minutes. It's got a pH of, let me see here, 9. Somewhere between 9 and 10. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's hard to tell on camera, but it's somewhere between there. So all I care about is that it's above 8. So it's good. I noticed there's a bunch in the thing here. I don't know if you can see it. So I'm going to pour it through there. And, you know, whatever hasn't reacted by now isn't going to react. This way, whatever's in the funnel can react, hopefully. And whatever ain't reacting, I can get it out of here. So I'm just going to let this gravity filtrate, and I'll get back with you. So I got done filtering it. I put it in a SEP funnel. Got some DCM. I toss a little bit in there. I'm not really measuring it. I just want to, so I can see it later. There we go. That's good enough. You can see down at the bottom, that's the DCM. So I'm going to shake that up and vent it, shake it, vent it, shake it, vent it. I'll do this twice, wash it with DCM. Well, I washed it twice with DCM, like I said. Try to get the xylene out. I'm putting it in this, and then this has hot water in it, because my thing doesn't work, but the stir rod does. So I'm putting this stirrer on, and I'll let it kind of be on this little hot bath for like an hour or so. And I got some activated carbon. I'm going to throw a little bit in, maybe like a gram or two. And we're going to let that heat up and stir for an hour. And then I'll get back with you. So it's been about an hour and a half. You can see there's like condensation up here. That's kept it nice and warm. Now I got some activated carbon in here. I don't know if you can see it. It's like that much. And I'm going to filter this through it. I don't know how it always comes out clear at first, just a few drops. It turns crap. There comes the color. Let's hope that carbon got rid of some of the color. Well, I got about 100 milliliters of HCO, hydrochloric acid. I don't think that carbon did anything. Anyways, I'm going to pour it in here. You can see got that precip. Oh, that's all of it. Do a little pH test. You can see it's like a 1. So that's definitely more than enough.